Welcome back to the fifth module of Life Process in Living Organisms, Part 1. This is the final module of this chapter. In the last module, we have seen about mitosis. We have learned about the phases of mitosis, starting with the prophase, metaphase, anaphase, telophase, and also we have learned about cytokinesis and what is the importance of mitosis. So this module is a continuation of this. After mitosis, there is one more type of cell division, that is meiosis. That is what we are going to discuss in detail in this module. There are some terms we have to learn before actually starting meiosis. That is, first we'll learn what are diploid cells and what are haploid cells. Diploid cell is an organism that has a paired chromosomes, that is one from each parent. So whatever the character may be, one will be represented from the father and the other from the mother. So if an individual is having a gene responsible for height, it will be contributed by both the parents. This diploid cell has this paired chromosomes, one from each parent. In human, all the other cells, that is except the sex cells, all the other cells, the body cells, are diploid. That is, they have 23 pairs of chromosomes. But the human sex cells, that is either egg cell or sperm cell, they contain only a single set of chromosome, because double is not possible. If they are also having 23 pairs, then the formation of zygote is not possible. So they will be having only 23 chromosomes, which are not in pairs. So we call them as haploid. So this picture clearly depicts diploid, means 2n, that is 2 copies of each chromosomes. You can see each chromosome contains 2 copies, that is one from a father and the other from the mother, where a haploid consists of only 1 copy of each chromosomes. So these are non-homologous chromosomes and they are called as haploid. Homologous means they will occur in pair, that is one from father and mother. They will form a diploid, and the same case if they have only 1 copy of each chromosome, they are called as haploid. So let us learn more about homologous chromosomes and also sister chromatids. Homologous chromosomes are 2 pieces of DNA. So this is there in a diploid organism. They carry same gene, one from each paternal source. That is, for example, if a set of DNA is responsible for growth or color of the skin, so those will be represented one from the father and the other from the mother. So they will have 2 pieces which carry the same gene, one from the parental source. So whichever is dominant will be expressed, but it doesn't mean that the other is not there. The other is there. So that type of chromosome is called as a homologous chromosomes. What is a sister chromatid? A sister chromatid refer to identical copies, that is a duplicate, formed by DNA during replication of a chromosomes. So these 2 copies are joined by the centromere. So see, for example, these 2 chromosomes have the same type of genes. So this chromosome, this set is from father and this will be from mother. So they are called as homologous chromosomes. So if you see sister chromatids, these are sister chromatids. So the genetic content of this one will be identical to this one. So this is why whenever the cell gets divided and this chromosome gets split up, the character or the genetic content does not change at all. So we understood sister chromatids means 2 identical genetic copy. Homologous chromosomes are 2 chromosomes which have same type of genes attributed, one from father and the one from mother. Now we will move on to meiosis. Meiosis is a special type of cell division in sexually reproducing organisms. These occurs to produce gametes such as sperm cells or egg cells. In this type of division, DNA replication is followed by two rounds of cell division. This is more important. The cell division occurs twice in meiosis. So two rounds of cell division to produce four daughter cells. So in the four daughter cells, each one will be with a half a number of chromosomes. That is, they will have only 23 chromosomes, where the original parent cell will be containing 23 pairs. Now, meiosis is completed in two stages, that is meiosis 1 and meiosis 2. So in meiosis 1, recombination or crossing over of the chromosome occurs. This is considered to be vital because this crossing over accounts for genetic variation of living things. So these chromosomes, that is non-sister chromatids, are divided into two groups and two haploid cells will be formed by the end of meiosis. We will see that in detail. Then the two haploid cells, they will further undergo division so that at the end there will be four haploid daughter cells will be formed. In meiosis also, the name of the phases and what happens in the phases is identical to mitosis with slight difference. We'll see. So prophase 1 of meiosis is typically the longest phase where chromosome pairs exchange genetic information. See, when genetic information is passed from parents to offspring, that offspring should have the character of both its grandparents. That is what happens. This often results in chromosomal crossover. The new combinations of DNA created, this is responsible for genetic variation. You can see the prophase 1 of meiosis. You can see the chromosomes are can be seen along with the sister chromatids. So this prophase 1 has many substages that we are going to see one by one. The prophase of mitosis is defined by 5 different phases. The first one is leptotene. In the leptotene, you can see the chromosomes being individualized. You can see they are dispersed and individualized within the nuclear membrane. Then, after that comes zygote stage. In the zygote stage, the homologous chromosomes, they get attached with each other with a protein complex called synaptonymal complex. This pairing up looks like a zipper-like fashion that may start in the from the centromere or from the tip of the chromosome. So they will start binding up. The homologous chromosomes, they start binding up. Then comes the packaging. In the packaging stage, you can see that these two are homologous chromosomes. So they align themselves and they will cross over the non-sister chromatids. We know these two are sister chromatids and these two are sister chromatids, but these two are non-sister chromatids. The pairing up or the crossover occurs between non-sister chromatids where the genetic material is being exchanged. You can see the color variation in the homologous chromosomes now. It means that the character from both mother and father are being exchanged so that it will be present in all the chromosomes. The next stage is the diplotin stage, in which the chromosome will start separating out except for the places where they are attached. These places are called chiasmata. Except these, the chromosomes will start moving away. The next stage is diakinesis, in which the chromosomes will be completely moved away from each other. Now the new set of chromosomes have been having the characters both from both the parents due to this crossover. So this is what happens in prophase 1, where there is exchange of genetic materials. After the prophase is the metaphase 1. In the metaphase 1, the homologous pairs, here we have to remember that the chromosomes are still available as homologous pairs. They move along the equatorial plane. And as usual, the spindle fibers will get attached to the respective centromere. You can see the chromosomes aligning themselves in the center, and they are in pairs. You can see pairs of chromosomes, and the spindle fibers, you can see them getting attached to the centromere. In anaphase 1, what happens in anaphase 1? In anaphase 1, the spindle fibers, they get shortened, like what we have seen in mitosis, they get shortened. They will pull the homologous chromosomes with the sister chromatids. They are still paired up with the sister chromatids. So the chromosomes as a whole will be attracted to the opposite pole, or will be moved to the opposite pole. You can see, you can still see the color being mixed up. This is due to the exchange of genetic material. These two homologous chromosomes are now being pulled apart by the spindle fibers. So you can see the sister chromatids present in this homologous chromosomes. So this anaphase 1 will be completed with the sister chromatids moving to the opposite poles. In telophase 1, the chromosomes, they start arriving at the poles, and now each daughter cell has half the number of chromosomes. It means that 23 pairs is having only 23 chromosomes now in each cell. But each chromosome, it has its own pair of chromatids. The chromatids are still there. The spindle fiber, they disappear, and a new nuclear membrane, the new nuclear membrane surrounds each haploid cell. Now we can call it as a haploid cell because it has only one chromosome that will represent a particular character. So the chromosome, they will uncoil back into chromatin fiber. Then cytokinesis occur, and then completing the creation of two daughter cells. We have to remember that the sister chromatids are still remain attached during telophase 1. Now begins the meiosis 2. So far we have seen that the chromosomes have been half the number, that is 23 they are having, but sister chromatids are still attached. In this stage we are moving to meiosis 2, second phase of meiosis. So what happens here is, it involves the separation of sister chromatids. The sister chromatids also will be further divided. And the process, it is very much similar to mitosis, but the results are different, we know. The end result of meiosis 2 is the production of 4 haploid cells from the 2 haploid cells that is produced in meiosis 1. By the end of meiosis 1, we got 2 haploid cells, that is 2 cells consisting only of 23 chromosomes each. Now, as the chromosomes have their sister chromatids as well attached, in meiosis 2, we are going to separate it further, divide it further into 2, so that we will have 4 haploid cells. Now we will see in detail meiosis 1. First phase of meiosis 1 is prophase, in which there will be disappearance of nucleoli and nuclear membrane. There will be shortening and thickening of chromatids, that is condensation of chromatids occur. The centrioles, they will double and move to the opposite side, that is the poles of the cell, and they will start producing spindle fiber. You can see there are 2 cells. These 2 cells are formed as a result of meiosis 1, and now the prophase is happening in both the cells. You can see the chromosomes with the sister chromatids, and the centrioles are moving towards the poles of the cell. The next phase after prophase is the metaphase 2. In the metaphase 2, the chromosomes as usual will be arranged parallel in the equatorial plane of the cell. The difference is the equatorial plane which happened in the last stage and now will be 90 degrees different than the previous one. You can see if the plane was like this, that is in the straight line, and now it is here. It is like a 90-degree difference between the first metaphase plate and the second one. Due to this happened due to the division of the cell. You can see the chromosomes being lined up. Don't forget to see the color difference due to genetic crossover. So this is what happens in metaphase 2. The next stage is anaphase 2. In the anaphase 2, the sister chromatids segregate. So now they can be called as sister chromosomes as they are moving opposite to the poles. You can see the sister chromatids which were attached started moving towards the pole. You can see that in both the cells. This is what, as usual, you can see it looks like bunch of bananas. And now with the chromosomes being moved toward the poles, the anaphase 2 will get over. In telophase 2, the decondensation and lengthening of the chromosome occur and the spindle fiber they disappear. A new nuclear envelope will reform in the two and the four daughter cells, and they have haploid set of chromosomes. We know that. Now meiosis is complete, ending up with four new daughter cells. You can see then the notch is being formed. This will end up in the next, that is cytokinesis. Now you can see the nucleus, four distinct nucleus with all the chromosomes with a different set of genetic makeup. So nobody can guess what kind of crossing over will occur. It is always random. We cannot predict which of the character, whether a dominant character will be transferred to the next generation or a recessive character. Nobody has a clue. It occurs so randomly, and it makes sure that it has all the four nucleus has the all the that is both the parents characters, both the mother and father. You can see the color difference in all the four nucleus. Hence, one diploid cell is now being completely transformed to four new haploid cells by the end of telophase 2. Let us get an overview of meiosis. Meiosis, as such, it starts with the first cell, that is the mother cell, that is the germ cell, let it be any germ cell. It starts with the replication of DNA, where DNA double and exist with its sister chromatids. You can see this happens in the preparatory phase, that is the interphase. Then comes the meiosis 1. In the meiosis 1, the first phase is prophase 1, where the homologous chromosomes, they exchange their genetic material, crossing over occurs. And in metaphase 1, you can see the homologous chromosomes, you can see they are in pairs, they align themselves in the equatorial plane. Then comes anaphase, where with the help of spindle fibers the centriole pull the homologous chromosomes apart. Then after that, there will be formation of a nuclear envelope in telophase 1. We have to be careful that the chromosomes are be with their sister chromatids still. With this starts the second stage of meiosis, where in that first one will be the prophase, where you can see the centrioles moving towards the poles of the cell, and you can see the structure of the chromosome clearly with the sister chromatids. Then comes the metaphase, where the chromosome align themselves in the equatorial plane. Then the anaphase, this is where the sister chromatids are separated, pulled away from each other. And now in telophase 2, so you can see the chromosomes being separated. They are further divided into two, resulting in four different new haploid cells being formed from one diploid cell. So Hopefully you all understood the process of meiosis stage 1 and stage 2. So we are moving to the end of the chapter. Let us quickly summarize what we have learned in this module. First, we have learned what is a diploid cell and what is a haploid cell and what is a homologous chromosome and what are sister chromatids. Then in meiosis 1, there are 4 stages, that is prophase 1, metaphase 1, anaphase 1 and telophase 1. This is followed by the second meiosis, stage 2, followed by prophase 2, metaphase 2, anaphase 2 and telophase 2, by the end of which we got 4 new haploid daughter cells. There is a small homework for you. You have to distinguish between mitosis and meiosis. Try to write at least 4 points each. Then with the help of suitable diagrams, you have to explain the 5 stages of prophase 1 of meiosis, starting from leptotene till diakinesis. You have to draw a suitable diagram and you have to explain it in your own words. With this, we have come to the end of the chapter. Thank you.